morning, guys. Today is January 8th, and we are doing today's Bible reading. Today we're reading all of chapter 9 and then going in only 10 verses into chapter 10. So I'm going to get started because I'm not feeling too good. I actually am sick. I wasn't feeling great yesterday. I ended up having to go to a little clinic. But I got meds and all that, and so now I just want to rest today. So let me go ahead and just start reading. Alright. God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear and terror of you will be in every living creature on the earth, every bird of the sky, every creature that crawls on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. They are placed under your authority. Every living creature will be food for you. As I gave the green plants, I have given you everything. However, you must not eat meat with its lifeblood in it. I will require the life of every animal and every man for your life and your blood. I will require the life of each man's brother for a man's life. Whoever sheds man's blood, his blood will be shed by man, for God made man in his image. But you, be fruitful and multiply, spread all over the earth and multiply on it." Then God said to Noah and his sons with him, "Understand that I am confirming my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, birds, livestock, and all wildlife of the earth that are with you, all the animals of the earth that came out of the ark. I confirm my covenant with you that never again will every creature be wiped out by the waters of a flood. There will never again be a flood to destroy the earth." And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all future generations. I have placed my bow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I form clouds over the earth and the bow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all the living creatures. Water will never again become a flood to destroy every creature. The bow will be in the clouds, and I will look at it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all the living creatures on earth." God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant that I have confirmed between me and every creature on earth." So there's a lot of commands in that. I don't know if you saw, like, it talks about what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to treat the animals and how the animals are supposed to respond to us. Hello. Saying little waves to the people. And so that's more to, like, you could, like, do a whole study on that, and there are studies that go deeper into that. Okay. Continuing, 18 is, Noah's sons who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I just think Ham's a funny name. Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were Noah's sons, and from them the whole earth was populated. Funny story. When I first tried to read the Bible, I sat down and did all the genealogy because I thought, this must be important if it's written in here. And I did all of it. And then we come to the flood. And everyone's gone. Hello. And everyone's gone, and I had to start over. And I was like, I did all that for nothing. I mean, not for nothing, but still, like, it was a lot. And I was like, oh. Alright, so Noah, a man of the soil, was the first to plant a vineyard. He drank some of the wine, became drunk, and uncovered himself in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. Then Shem and Japheth took a cloak and placed it over their shoulders. Walking backwards, they covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father naked. When Noah woke from drinking and learned what his youngest son had done to him. So there's a lot. Hello, all the way to Egypt. So there's actually a lot in there. We watched this whole video where a girl went into details about what that actually meant and what seeing someone naked meant. And apparently it had to do with sex. And I don't know how accurate this is, but she went into a theory about how technically what she was trying to get at was that the crime he committed, so the bad thing he did, wasn't just seeing his dad naked. The crime was sleeping with his mother, his mom, his husband, his dad's wife, so I'm assuming it's his mom. But that's what the bad thing was. And so then when they say that in the next part, it goes, Canaan will be cursed, he will be the lowest of slaves to his brothers. It's not because Canaan is Noah's son, but because it's his son's son. And that's why he's been cursed. Now, I can't vouch to how accurate that is, but she went into this whole theory. She went into, like, what the words meant and everything, and we were all like, oh, that makes way more sense than being like, why was he so upset about that? So whether or not that's specifically correct, what's good is to always go backwards and, like, look at what did the words mean then? So, like, especially when they use, like, his father's nakedness. Why, if it seems weird to us, like, why would that be such an issue? go backwards and be like, what did those words actually mean? What were the specific words actually used in the original languages? What was the meaning of those words within the context of their world, and what repercussions could that have based on the actual story? So make sure you try to do that, because then you have a better understanding of like, whoa, that seemed really harsh. Like, oh, it wasn't. So yeah, she's on YouTube. If I find that video, I will try to post it, and then you can watch it and kind of decide yourself. Okay, going on. 26. He also said, praise the Lord, the God of Shem. Canaan will be his slave. God will extend Japheth. He will dwell in the tents of Shem. Canaan will be his slave. Now Noah lived 350 years after the flood. So Noah's life lasted 950 years. Then he died. Okay, so now going into chapter 10, we're going back into kind of genealogy, but also I think the part that's important is that it's telling us where people went. So it kind of gives us an idea, and you can find maps of like where people moved. So like the idea of like, okay, so these people moved to this area and these people moved to this area, and so kind of to seeing how like the earth was, how people dissipated around that area and kind of like started civilizations, and then you can actually learn a little bit about actual civilizations that came up in that time and how they were affected, etc. Sorry guys. Alright, this one's really short. Chapter 10. These are the family records of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They also had sons after the flood. Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshesh, and Tiras. Gomer's sons, Ashkenaz, Riptath, and Togarmah. And Javan's sons, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. The coastland people spread out into their lands. They are Japheth's sons, and by their clans in their nations, each group had its own language. Ham's sons, Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Cush's sons, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteka, and Rama's sons, Sheba and Dedan. Cush fathered Nimrod, who was the most powerful man on earth. Think about how odd it is that they added that sentence right there with no other explanation to any of the other people, but they specifically decided to give that little piece of information about this one person. So that might be really important, or it might just be significant for some reason, or for just something that God wanted us to know. So just keep that in mind when you see tiny little weird piece of information and you're like, wait a minute, why did they tell us that? Okay, he was a powerful hunter in the sight of the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a powerful hunter in the sight of the Lord. His kingdom started with Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. Okay, so then we'll stop right there, and then we'll keep going because there's still a little bit more that goes into where each of the, groups of children went. Hello! And then we're going into another story, which is the Tower of Babylon, which is a really interesting story. But we're going to go, this week we're probably going to finish a little bit of the beginning of Genesis, and then we're going to go and jump to Job, which is a different book. Because chronologically, Job happens within the context of, at the same time as some of the events in Genesis. So we're going to read a little bit here, and then go to the next part, and then come back and finish the rest. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so that's going to be all for today. I will be back on tomorrow. If you guys could just pray that I start feeling a little bit better, I would really appreciate that, because I don't feel good at all. But thank you guys for being on here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will post this to my YouTube at bit.ly/Rose YouTube, or if you want to go direct to the playlist, it's bit.ly/Rose Daily Live Bible Reading. I made it a little too long, but it couldn't break it down any further. But they're already in order, and you can catch up. We're only on day 6, I believe. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.